On Monday, May 4, 2020, Gold's Gym announced that they're closing over 30 of their corporate-owned locations and declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This is all thanks to the global recent events we've all been dealing with. In this episode of Total Body Training, we're asking the questions. What exactly happened to Gold's Gym? What is Chapter 11 bankruptcy? Will Gold's Gym be able to survive this? Finally, my thoughts about the situation. Welcome back to Total Body Training. I'm Jean Carlos, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click the subscription button. On this channel, we go over fitness tips, trends, and tutorials to help you stay informed and get in shape. On with the video. On Monday, May 4, 2020, Adam Zeitsiff, the CEO of Gold's Gym International, announced that they are closing over 30 of their corporate-owned Gold's Gym locations. And this is all thanks to Mr. C. Mr. C is code for, which is a word that I can't use right now on YouTube because I could face being demonetized in the future. So for now, whenever I want to talk about instead, I'm going to call it Mr. C. Not to be confused with my beloved childhood hero, Mr. T. Ah, yes, growing up I collected lots of Mr. T memorabilia, such as this Mr. T watch with this cute little dog on it, or this lovely keychain with Mr. T flexing on it, which actually kind of has always made me feel insecure because my biceps aren't as big as his. And finally, this homemade Mr. T baby doll that I created. Ooh, aren't you a cute one? I pity the baby. I digress, thanks to my ADD. Back to the news. 30 Gold's Gym locations are closing, and Adam explained that these were specifically corporate-owned Gold's Gyms, that franchise-owned Gold's Gyms would not be affected by this. But come on, folks, let's be real. With everything that's been going on with Mr. C, there is a big possibility that they will also be affected. It's just that the decisions that happen at the actual corporate level will not directly impact the franchise locations. That's it. They don't really have a say in that. Also, if you have a gym membership with a corporate-owned Gold's Gym, I'd strongly suggest that you send them an email to see if they're closing or not. Also, if you look in the description section of this video, you'll see that I shared a link to a page that shows you all of the corporate-owned Gold's Gyms that closed. Here, I live in San Antonio, and here we actually had 3 locations close, but this doesn't really affect me because I don't work out at Gold's Gym. I work out at Curves. Moving on to bankruptcy. Gold's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and I don't really know much about bankruptcy except that it's a bad thing when it happens to you when you're playing Monopoly. Honestly, I've never really liked that game. I can only play it when I've had multiple glasses of wine. Cheers. Okay, I know nothing about bankruptcy. However, using logic and deductive reasoning, I estimate that if there is a Chapter 11, then there's probably a Chapter 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's probably a whole book about bankruptcy out there. And I did some Googling and I found this. uscourts.gov Bankruptcy page. Here's what I found out on their website, and here's a direct quote about bankruptcy. Filing bankruptcy can help a person by discarding debt or making a plan to repay debts. A bankruptcy case normally begins when the debtor files a petition with the bankruptcy court. A petition may be filed by an individual, by spouses together, or by a corporation or other entity. I also found out that there are, indeed, other chapters in the book of bankruptcy. Looks like I was right. Here is a picture of a David Ramsey article that I found about bankruptcy, and it explains the different kinds of bankruptcy and what those kinds of bankruptcy apply to. I won't bore you with all the details of bankruptcy, but I did put a link in the description section of this video where you can find out more about bankruptcy. Also, I should say that I know nothing about David Ramsey or anything that he really does. I just found this article and it seemed legit, so if somebody wants to walk me through bankruptcy or correct me, let me know down in the comments section below. Back on the uscourts.government page, it explains that there are different types of bankruptcy which are all usually referred to by their chapter in the US Bankruptcy Code. Individuals may file for Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 bankruptcy, depending on the specifics of their situation. Let's skip all the other chapters because they don't really apply here, and let's go down to Chapter 11. Chapter 11 states businesses may file for bankruptcy under 7 to liquidate or Chapter 11 to reorganize. But what does that mean? Like, in layman's terms, let's go back to David Ramsey's page to read about that. Here's a direct quote from Ramsey himself. Chapter 11 Bankruptcy. For the most part, Chapter 11 bankruptcy is used to reorganize a business or corporation. Businesses come up with a plan for how they'll continue operating the company while paying off their debt. And both the court and the creditors must approve this plan. David Ramsey. Essentially, Gold's Gym is going to be reorganizing how they're using their assets and where they're spending their money so that eventually they can get out of the debt that they're in. And it does seem like closing these 30 locations and getting rid of these leases is going to help them with doing that. This leads to the question that we've all been wondering about: will Gold's Gym be able to survive this? Adam Zietsiff has been asked this exact question in every single interview he's done, and here's what the guy had to say. "We're not going anywhere." In a US Today article. I mean, he did elaborate on it more than that, but that's what he specifically said. Adam Zietsiff seems confident that they can and will recover from this setback. But others don't share Adam's positivity. I had someone in the comments section of a video that I made called "When Will Gyms Reopen?" in May of 2020 tell me that many gyms have already filed bankruptcy and they're never coming back. And I totally empathize with that perspective. There are a lot of businesses that are going bankrupt right now that will not come back. However, there are several examples of companies that have actually bounced back from a bankruptcy and actually grew to be better versions of what their prior company was to begin with. So they actually improved afterwards. The website INVESTOPEDIA has a really great article called 8 Bankrupt Companies That Came Back. Many of these companies are now huge and more successful than ever. I'm gonna go down the list of some of those companies, and you're sure to recognize every one that I mentioned. The first one on here is Marvel Entertainment. They declared bankruptcy in 1996. Apple almost went under when they declared bankruptcy in 1997. Chrysler almost went down in 2007. The list goes on. But all of these companies came back with a vengeance. Just think about Marvel. Take Marvel, for example. I mean, look at what Marvel has become since that time. I mean, the MCU is arguably one of the most successful film franchises in history. They sell millions of dollars in films and movies every single year. And to think that they were bankrupt back in the 90s is just crazy. Can Gold's Gym bounce back from this? Yes, I think they can. Other companies have done it, and so can they. And here's my opinion about this topic. I know this might not be popular, but even if Gold's Gym goes under, another gym will step up and take over. I mean, look, I have been in the fitness industry for, since 2014. And I've been working out, before that for years. Even if Gold's doesn't come back, another company will rise up because there's always a need for gyms and fitness. Here in San Antonio, there's an outdoor mall called the Quarry. And at the Quarry, there is a Gold's Gym that opened up a couple years ago. But before it was called Gold's Gym, before Gold's Gym bought it out, it was owned by a small corporation called Blast. And before it was called Blast, just about a year or so before that, it was called Bally's. And Bally's apparently was huge back in the 80s. I'm not that old. I wasn't around when I was just a little kid. I barely was in the 80s. I was born in the 87. So I barely got to see that. But here's my point, is that there are constantly, in the world of fitness, gyms are constantly buying out other gyms. Other gyms are more successful than others. They have the capital and the financial capital to purchase different locations. Business owners get tired of owning gyms and then they sell them to corporations like Gold's. There's always going to be a new corporation that shows up and takes over. It's just the way that it is. I mean, think about Walmart. Before there was Walmart, there was Kmart, or maybe Walmart and Kmart were around at the same time, but either way, Walmart is the one that won out. And we have Walmart now. So it's just what happens. New businesses show up and either somebody gets tired of running those businesses so they can't innovate, or they can't innovate so they go out, like places like Sears and JCPenney's. All those big, huge retail stores are all going. It's just the way that it goes. There's always something new that will replace the old. So if you are scared that gyms in your area are going to close, just know that there might be a short time where that does happen, but because gyms are something that are popular and people need, they will be bought out by someone else will replace them, or another place altogether will open up down the street from the gym that you used to go to. So don't lose hope. All right, people, if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you would like to never miss out on another episode, click the notification button. It's the little bell down there that will notify you when I've got another video up. And anyways, people, until next time, peace. Working out from home can be boring. Whether it's the fact that you don't have proper weightlifting equipment, or you're sick and tired of using pre-recorded workout videos that lack motivation and proper instruction that is geared towards you. If you find yourself in one of those categories, look no further than Total Body Training. We've got you covered with our online weightlifting from home program. That's right, we teach you in a virtual classroom how to work out and lift weights for you at your current level and where you want to be at in the next 6, 12 months. Where do you want to be at by the end of this year? We've got you covered with our online weightlifting program. So if you're interested, read the description section of this video to learn more about how you can start lifting weights from home with us today.